Good morning, sir, and hello, everyone. We are here for Fulcrum 6 Consulting Conclave along with Mr. Jeewitesh Prabhakar, partner at PwC India. With an extensive background spanning technology led business transformation and supply chain strategy, and senior operational leadership at global FMCG majors like Kimberly-Clark, Jeewitesh sir specializes in helping organizations navigate complex digital shifts and turn massive data streams into actionable strategy. He was also the Associate Director at Accenture and Program Manager SAP at HP. Welcome to XLRI Jamshedpur, sir. Before we dive into our core theme and questions, how was your interaction so far with our students at XLRI?
Thank you, Arun, and very good morning to all of you. It has been a pleasant experience, a profound one, and I feel privileged to be part of this Fulcrum 6.0 and happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. So first, let us start with some leadership questions, followed by that into technology consulting, and then with few rapid fire questions, sir. So starting with the first one, every technology leader has an aha moment, maybe in their first job, like their first project. So what was the first major technology or transformation rollout that you have managed, and what was the biggest lesson from that, sir?
Yeah. So I was a management trainee in one of the PSUs at that point in time, Hindustan Zinc Limited. I joined that company after passing out from my college, and SAP was being implemented in that company, and I was picked up as one of the persons to lead manufacturing and quality management. And it was a wonderful opportunity in front of me, and at the same time, it was challenging. And this is again a learning that I will talk about in a minute. And I was overwhelmed. I thought that I'm new in the organization and I do not know enough about the organization. How do I lead and manage such a transformative program within such a large organization? And then it started. And I realized that maybe not knowing everything is in fact a blessing, because if you know everything or pretend to know everything, then there is a chance of overconfidence and things can go wrong. And I was going to details of everything just because I had that feeling that I did not know enough. So I had to run extra mile to understand the processes and make sure that nothing goes wrong. And this was the mantra that I had from that first initiative or the first program that I had.
Thank you for sharing that experience, sir. That was fantastic to hear. So, sir, we would be joining as a middle level managers once after completing our MBA. So, I just wanted to understand, like, what is the greatest misconception that the leadership team is having generally about a digital transformation initiative?
Yeah. So, there are plethora of technologies available in the market. There is no dearth of it. We are living in the age where technology is available at your service, and that is I'll say not a problem, but that is also not a solution at the same time. First of all, what the technology is meant for. Technology has a purpose to solve, right? And we can use that technology in enterprise. We can use that technology for our personal use. And since you talked about mid-level managers, so let's talk about enterprise. So enterprise has a vision, has a mission, right? And there is an objective associated with that. So technology has to serve that objective, right? And it has to be understood in exactly the same manner. First of all, we have to define as to why we would like to adopt this technology and not the other. And before that, do we really need to adopt this technology, right? And I think let's go by the book by Jim Collins, and then he has narrated a story and he has given enough examples of companies who were not the first in technology adopters, right? But they are very successful companies because they knew exactly when and what technology to use for their objective to serve. So that is the key. Yeah.
So from the last answer you have delivered, I just got like there is no one size fits all approach for any digital transformation initiative. So corresponding to that, should leaders focus on technology-led innovation or mainly to business problem solving? Is there this or that or both?
Yeah, actually, these days it is both, right? Ideally, it has to be what the business needs, and then you bring the technology. And this is exactly what I said a moment ago, right? But we are living in an age where sometimes we are finding that technology is defining the business model, right? So without being boring, let me mention that Uber, right? Uber came and it changed the entire model of transportation, right? The way we used to get cab services and everything else around it, right? Similarly, Airbnb, they changed the business model, and that business model was enabled by technology. So in this case, there is a business disruption led by technology, right? Whereas most of the cases in established businesses, it is business has to go from point A to point B, and there is a gap in between. And how do we fill that gap? Technology becomes one of the enablers there, right? Right. So this is one way of looking at it. That look at the business and where it wants to go, fill the gap with the available technologies, right, and do a transformation. Second is there are technologies available. They have potential to changing the business model. Adopt. So it is both.
Yes, sir. So thank you for answering that, sir, and clarifying most of our doubts. So going forward with few questions related to consulting, technology and consulting. So in your current advisory role, how has the nature of client conversations changed so far in the past 2 years? Maybe the clients are more focusing towards the immediate solutions, or they are focusing about long-term ROI.
Yeah. In fact, there have been a lot of change. In the good old days, when the internet was just coming up, so everything was with the consultant. We used to tell that this wave is coming or that wave is coming, or this is how we should improve, this is how we should carry out business, and these are the technologies you can implement and use for your business benefits. Now customers know some part of it. They know already about what can be done about their business and what technologies are suitable for them, right? Though they know about these technologies. So and so it has come to this stage. Now the current discussions are around technology is fine, but tell me how this technology will give me benefit. Is it going to improve my EBITDA? Is it going to improve my turnover? Is it going to improve my asset efficiency? Or is it going to give me competitive advantage in some other form? And quantify that. So the discussions is no longer that implement me SAP, implement me Oracle, implement something in Microsoft Dynamics or something else. Tell me what is the value of doing that exercise. So it's about the value articulation to the clients that with this exercise, this much of value is going to be unlocked. Yeah. So the discussions are around, you may say, ROI.
So thank you for clarifying that, sir. So I had another question about this. Say, for example, while implementing these digital initiatives as a technology consultant, few people who are operating with legacy systems may be having a resistance to adopt that, given their expertise. So how do you manage that people transition and change management perspective?
Yeah, it's a vital question, and I'm happy that you asked this question. And it goes back to culture in some way or the other, and also to people, because ultimately it is people who have to change, right? And the first thing is we need to be very clear as to, and we need to be very sincere also as to why this change is needed, right? And there has to be a sense of urgency that if we don't do this change, then someone will do that change, and then we will be stripped out of the market, right? So that is about urgency. And then we also need to understand why people resist a change. It's a nature. I mean, it's not that I do not resist a change. For everyone, change is right. Change. We do not like change. We like to live in the era where we are comfortable. So when we do change, few things can happen. People will think, will my job remain, right? Or even if my job remain, will my importance go down, right? What will happen to my status in the society, right? And so on and so forth. So we have to address that part. A, that there is an urgency. If we don't make this change, then we are doomed. And B, by doing this change, it's not that we are replacing people, right? And then this is actually telling you that your job will change in this manner. You are doing a particular job in a particular fashion. Now you will be doing this job in a different fashion. Or in other words, we can tell them that maybe it's not about replacing your job, it's replacing some of the tasks, right, that the system will do, but your job remains. Yeah.
So that was a unique perspective in the change management point of view, sir. So what would be your narrative to those maybe operators or who are giving resistance to change directly as a go-to narrative, and which also empowers them? And seconding to this question, like how can they, if in case if they are willing, but how can they train themselves like in those new technologies?
Yeah. Let me give you an example. When computers and internet came, everyone was thinking that it will take away people's job, right? And let's take example of railway. Before that, computerized ticketing system or online ticketing system, there was an offline ticketing system. There was one person who would give you a ticket. You'll buy that ticket, you will travel, and then you'll once again do the booking of your return. So this was manual. And then came computerization and internet, right? And that did not take away people's job. In fact, now you'll find that there are many more people who are employed, many more people who are employed, right? What has gone up? The jobs did not go away, services increased.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So this is how the change management is.
Yeah.
You're actually improving the services, you're improving the quality of work, and your job stays, rather it multiplies in some times. Similarly with operators at the soft floor, there are some inaccessible areas. I come from a mining background, I'm a mining engineer, so there are some inaccessible areas, right, where operators cannot go, or if they go, it is a danger for them. Why can't we use robo for that?
Yeah.
So this is actually not replacing them. You are anyway not going there. Someone is going there and doing the job for the benefit of the organization and ultimately for your benefit, and you are not risking yourself.
Yes.
Correct? So these are the stories and examples which are very nuanced, and this will be from one company to another company.
Yes.
Every company will have a unique story about why we are doing this change, and the intention has to be sincere, and then the communication has to be as sincere as the intention, and then people will adapt.
So that was nice to hear, sir. You gave us a very good example of railway ticketing system, how it has changed. A few other technologies like ATM and everything was newly introduced in the recent years, and people have adopted. Service industry has now raised, service roles have raised. That was very nice to hear, sir. So going with the next question, maybe while we are working with the team, like there may be young people who are well versed with technology, and there are some experts who are new to those technology, but they have their subject matter expertise. So working with these cross-functional teams composed of both veterans as well as technology innovators, young technology innovators, how do you bridge the gap in the perspective and working style as a manager or as a leader? How would you manage these both?
Yeah. So both are complementary. They are not competing with each other, right? And this has always been the case. Maybe if your question is like the young generation is very much comfortable with data, and they talk data language, they use AI, and then they use advanced tools. And there are some experienced people who are not so good at it. So maybe you're asking that how do we bridge that, difference or the conflict, correct?
Yeah.
So look, the keyword is judgment, and judgment is a function of two things. One is information, and second is knowledge. Information alone cannot lead to judgment. It can, but there are chances of errors. Similarly, knowledge alone cannot lead to judgment. We need information also. And let me give an example. And in fact, I was talking about this example a few minutes ago in some other place. Is that suppose there is a MRI scan. What is that MRI scan? It's an information.
Yeah.
Now that MRI scan is handed to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
Yes.
I have information.
Yeah.
I don't have knowledge. Can I make a decision?
No.
No. There is a doctor, right? He is qualified. He has knowledge. He doesn't have MRI.
Yes.
Of course, he can make a diagnosis, but will he be prescribing anything only because of that?
No.
He has knowledge, but he doesn't have information,
Yes.
right? So we need these two things to make a sound judgment.
Yeah.
And in your example, this is exactly the same. One side is about data and information, other side is about knowledge, right?
Yes.
And these two have to come together for a sound judgment.
Yes, sir. That was very well said, sir. So going forward, it will be useful for as well to us, maybe as middle managers, how to handle these situations. So, given your experience across supply chain operations and technology advisory, how do you see AI, agentic AI, and predictive analytics is going to change the supply chain industry, bringing forward resilience and decision making in the next few years?
Yeah, it is going to help this particular function in a great way, because supply chain is all about resilience nowadays, and it starts from demand planning to network planning and optimization, then comes to production planning, then detailed scheduling and sequencing, and then comes to deployment. And at every level, it's a play of information and forecast and optimization, right? And the AI tools are very well helping in forecasting, in finding out events that might occur which we were unable to find earlier. So it is helping that way. Then in optimization, it is helping. So it is going to reshape this part of the thing in a big way, and it does help. Coming to agentic AI, it is becoming arms and legs for the people, because it can do some of the workflows, mundane workflows, automatically, which would consume people time, right? So and this is definitely going to help us in a big way.
Yes, sir. So, corresponding to that, while we are implementing these technologies like agentic AI and predictive AI, it is helping us in many ways. But there is a conception like there is responsible AI and cyber security point of view, and data privacy are the top of the mind for leaders, given this confidentiality of few industries. So, how would you advise the leadership teams to strike the balance between these innovation as well as the risk of implementing those, the risk management?
Yeah. So the technological waves, not only AI, historically also, every technological wave had its own share of misfortunes, and AI is no exception. Look, AI is all about what data you give, and then it trains the model and gives you an output, right? And what happens is, if we use the tool inadvertently, then we end up giving some confidential data to the tool. And once it has been given, that will be used for further training of the data, which is good, but then your sensitive data has gone out. We need to train people about how responsibly have to use the tools so that your sensitive data remains with you. So one is training the employees on how to use, and then maybe putting a layer of security that sensitive data does not go to uh, does not go out in the open, because if once it has gone out in the open, then you're vulnerable, correct? So we must have that security layer on top of any tool that we use to protect our data from being public. And then training, of course, is paramount. I think all companies have become aware of this, and they are training their employees as to how to use these AI tools.
That was well said, sir. So, coming to specifically generative AI today, it requires solid data governance and digital foundations. Maybe while we are implementing any AI model, we need a solid data foundation for that. So, how are you helping enterprises build the necessary foundation for AI adoption, which leads to measurable business outcome? Because many clients would be willing to just implement their AI solutions rather than waiting for building the solid model and then implementing the AI solutions. So, how would be your approach to that, sir?
Yeah. Well, so everything has to start from identifying the use cases, right? So understanding deeply as to what business needs, and then finding out how technology and how AI can help, and then believing that by adopting this AI, there is this measurable benefit, right? And we implement that, and then we scale that out. In this way, I'm not, indiscriminately adopting technologies. I'm just being sensitive as to why I have to use a particular technology, in this case AI, right? And then we implement it, we realize the value and go to next. This is one. And second is, we should not take too many things at a time, correct? And third thing is, maybe if we are in the process of, say, for example, 1 month or 2 months, and we find that no, we should not have taken this up, then we should be honest to ourselves and say that, okay, let's not progress further. We should not fall prey to confirmation bias, if I may say so. We should not fall prey to confirmation bias that I've taken decision, so let's move ahead. At some point in time, we have to say now exit. Right. So we should not take too many things. We should be ready to course correct, and we should pick and implement only those solutions that we exactly need.
Just out of curiosity, I'm asking this question. Like a few firms are doing this AI and technology transformations just as their competitors are doing or their customers are expecting them to do. But would that be the good approach to take, or will it be good for their business in the long-term perspective? So they need to do that technology transformation. This one would be a good approach to take. So based on the stakeholders' need, they should take a transformation initiative, or based on their own long-term growth perspective, they should need to take the transformation perspective, sir.
Yeah. So as long as we change our path frequently, our goals also keep changing, right? And then we end up reaching nowhere, correct? And this is the reason why organizations have vision and mission, and everything has to be tied to that, which essentially to tell that there has to be a long-term assessment of whatever we are doing. We should not be immune to what is happening around you. Otherwise, we may have enough cases in the history where the companies remained immune to the outside reality, and once successful, actually doomed. Correct. So, and at the same time, we should not also be a company that anything that the other person is doing, we should do. Right. So, it's about calibration and balance of both. We should have vision and mission in our company very clearly articulated, which is definitely there. And then whatever initiatives we take, it should result into some or the other form tied to those cardinal things.
Values.
And then we should be aware of what is happening around us and then take a balanced decision based on this.
That was a great answer, sir, which clarified my initial question. So, over the next decade, what do you think would be the next technological disruption, say agentic AI or generative AI, in particularly in the supply chain and manufacturing sector?
It's very difficult to predict. Only thing I can say that many of the things that are going to be there 5 years from now, we can't even think of. The pace of technology change is rather fast. Correct. So it's very difficult to predict. Only thing I can say that our convenience is going to be improved. There will be lot more at our hand to understand the perspective better, to enable us to make informed judgment, and certain things will not change. What will not change is people will be people, right? There will be fear, there will be anxiety, there will be greed, there will be love, there will be hate, right? These things will not change, correct? And as long as people are there, there will be need. And as long as there is a need, there will be organization, there will be companies, there will be enterprises, right? So only thing that changes is how to fulfill the needs, wants of people. That is where technology will keep improving, right? And today, so few years back, it was, so we started with, say, for example, steam engine, then came electricity, then computers, and then connecting people, and then connecting machines, and now we are talking about having a technology that thinks like people, and going forward, maybe something better will come. What exactly is, I will not be in a position to tell, but I can only tell that this is going to be a much better version of its current self.
Yes, sir. So, add to this question, like mostly now manufacturing firms and even other firms are focusing towards sustainability point of view. So, would sustainability be the main driver of next main technological transformation?
Already now, it is already now. People are conscious, and we are hearing that adoption of hydrogen as a fuel, right? We are aware of that. We are aware of EVs and the technologies around that. So there is an awareness, and it is going to be very much part of it. And there are separate groups talking about it everywhere, and it is centered around how do we bring sustainability in what we are doing, right? And there was a term industry 4.0. Now it is industry 5.0. You know what? This is about human beings and sustainability. So sustainability is going to be is definitely going to be a very big part of every discussion or every technology. People are even talking about data centers which consume a lot of water, and people are sensitive to that. It consumes a lot of power. People are sensitive to that. So very soon we will hear some alternate technology to run the data centers, fuel the data centers. This is one example I'm giving. And only force that mandates us to think about it is our concern for the nature and sustainability.
Yes, sir. That is the exact point which is currently going on today. So, coming back to the leadership journey for young professionals and MBA graduates like us who are aspiring to enter into technology consulting and business transformation today, what mix of technical and human skills would you recommend we need to start building early on?
Yeah. I'll tell the 5-letter word: trust. Trust is paramount in consulting. And you can add human element to this, that is empathy. These two things must exist, because unless you are empathetic, you'll not know what the other person wants or needs, rather, right? And if you don't have trust built with that person, then whatever you do, he will not accept. I'll rather say, if I have to summarize this, then I'll say three things that comes to my mind is, one is the person has to be competent, right? So that goes back to their knowledge. Second is their character, which is how do you build trust, how do you build empathy, how are you concerned about people, correct? And third thing is communication. I think everything is wrapped around these three C's.
Yes, sir.
Is what I believe.
Exactly, sir. So, a general question about you. Maybe you were part of Art of Living initiative. I came to know this through your profile. So, commonly executives today and probably everyone are in high pressure, and they need to perform more in a less particular time. So, how do you integrate this mindfulness or art of living practices like meditation and breath work into a demanding executive calendar? And what may be some advice you would give to people who are wishing to inculcate these into their daily schedules?
Yeah. So stress is there and it is going to be there. Response to stress is what is in your control. And if you meditate, then that is one of the responses to the stress.
Yes.
It reduces your stress levels. Right? Outside world you cannot control, but definitely you can control yourself. This comes naturally. And since you talked about art of living, so there are 5 nuggets. One is whatever you do, give your 100%.
Yes.
Right? That is very, very important. That is about dedication. Now, second thing is there will be ups and downs in your life. You have to accept that these are complementary. Right? And third thing is when we find that something has gone wrong, we actually blame that he has done something. Correct? So that is where this comes. Like you don't have to blame others for what they did. And then the world is so big, correct? So you have to accept people and situations as they are. Because you have not made them, correct? You have to accept them as they are and believe that the nature will equalize everything, right? So lead your life with this. Actually, I try with these nuggets and I lead my life. I try to lead my life.
That was very insightful to hear, sir. So it will be useful for the viewers as well to manage their stress in their daily life. So going forward, we'll be having some 3-4 rapid fire questions, sir, if you're okay. Just these are informal questions. So are you a coffee lover or a tea lover, sir?
Tea.
Very nice, sir. You already told about many books. You mentioned about Jim Collins and other books which you have read and a few perspectives about that. So can you say a book or a movie that has strongly influenced your leadership thinking?
Stephen Covey's
7 Habits of Highly Effective. Yeah. So one AI myth you wish would disappear?
Judgment.
The ultimate metric of a successful business transformation.
Ultimate
metric of any successful business transformation.
Ultimate metric of any business transformation.
A KPI or something, which is a ultimate metric.
Yeah. On time, in budget, and with value articulation.
Yes. So these 3 things would be the metrics. So what would be your favorite way to unwind and unplug from your technology after an intense week, maybe your weekend routine?
I go back to solitude, and if I'm not tired, then I love driving.
Nice, sir. So what was the best piece of life advice you have heard and you wish to share with the viewers?
Yeah. So we normally measure people on the outcome. We generally do.
Yeah.
So we have to train our mind to appreciate the journey to achieving that goal, because that person may achieve, may not achieve, but there was a journey. The whole evaluation has to be there. Whether he was sincere, whether he was putting his 100% that I talked about, did he take shortcut, did he remain committed to the rules of the book, right? So there are a lot of character that is into play in the journey. So evaluate people on the journey, not on what they achieved.
Yes. So thank you for sharing your insights and from your expertise, sir. Thank you for also for your leadership lessons. So just to summarize what we discussed in 3-4 points for the viewers, we understood about sir's initial journey as a management trainee, how he get into consulting role, and why this how this consulting firms and how are the clients are changing in the upcoming years. We also got some wonderful examples about Uber and Airbnb and what Jim Collins is mentioning in his book about this transformation. And we also got some insights about responsible AI and governance part. While implementing AI, what should companies focus, and how is the real change management works? How should the operators in the line view the upcoming AI initiative? How they can upskill themselves in order to be ready for that, as well as how leaders should take the initiative to the operators, and in order to make that successful, what are the key success metrics? As we lastly discussed, what are the key success metrics for any transformation program? Then we also understood about the sustainability point of view. We heard from sir about the industry 5.0, as well as for young professionals, what should be the key skills they need to learn. We understood competence, character, and communication are the 3 C's which any young professional or MBA graduate should learn before in their journey towards consulting. So thank you very much for spending time with us, sir. Thank you for sharing the insights. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, XLRI, for having me here. Thank you.